You may be following a diet considered healthy, and yet your glucose remains out of control. Many people experience this every day and don't understand why. The problem is that there are common foods present in the routine of those who want to take care of themselves that seem harmless, but may be raising blood sugar without the person realizing it. Today I'm going to reveal 7 everyday foods that many people believe are healthy, which are even frequently recommended, but which may be sabotaging glucose control. Many people believe that if a food is natural, whole, or has a reputation for being healthy, it is automatically safe for those with diabetes. And this is one of the biggest mistakes. Healthy is not the same as safe for diabetes. There are foods that may even be good for those without metabolic problems, but that cause blood sugar spikes in those with insulin resistance or diabetes. In addition, almost no one talks about 3 fundamental points: the glycemic index of the food, the amount consumed, and the frequency with which it appears in the diet. A food may seem harmless in small amounts, but when consumed daily or in excess, it directly impairs glucose control. Another very common mistake is relying solely on the label or the reputation of the food. Words like whole grain, fit, light, or natural give a false sense of security. Many people consume these products thinking they are taking care of themselves, when in fact they are worsening their test results. This is something that many doctors and nutritionists warn about, but it is rarely explained in a simple, clear, and practical way to those who live with diabetes on a daily basis. Before I tell you what these 7 foods are, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I guarantee you one thing: after you discover these 7 foods, you will be so impacted that you will probably forget to like and subscribe. And this content needs to reach more people with diabetes. Let's start the list, because the first food is usually present at breakfast for many people. The first food on the list is a true breakfast classic, and you've probably eaten it thinking you were doing the right thing. It's highly recommended, appears in diets, medical consultations, and meal plans, and is part of the routine of those who want to take care of themselves, lose weight, or control their health. The problem is that, for those with diabetes, this food can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose. What almost no one explains is that, even though it's considered healthy, it quickly turns into sugar in the body. This causes glucose to rise shortly after the meal, often without the person realizing it. Instead of stable energy, the body receives a load of carbohydrates that are absorbed too quickly. The most common mistake when consuming this food is eating it alone, especially first thing in the morning, when it's not combined with enough protein, healthy fats, or fiber. The impact on blood sugar is even greater. Many people consume this food every day, sometimes in large quantities, believing they are taking care of their health, when in fact they are making it harder to control their blood sugar. Another important point is that the label or reputation for being healthy makes people feel safe and relax in controlling portions. And it is precisely this combination of frequency, quantity, and rapid absorption that transforms a seemingly harmless food into a silent problem for those with diabetes. Food number 1: whole wheat bread, especially industrially produced whole wheat bread. The first food on the list is whole wheat bread, a true breakfast classic and one of the most recommended foods for those who want to take care of themselves. Many people switch from white bread to whole wheat bread, believing they are making a safe choice for diabetes. The problem is that most industrially produced whole wheat breads have a high glycemic index and can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, even though they are called whole wheat. Many of these breads are made with refined flour as a base and only receive a small amount of whole wheat, flour, or added fiber. In the body, this quickly turns into glucose, raising blood sugar shortly after consumption. The most common mistake is consuming whole wheat bread every day for breakfast, often in more than one slice, and even more so alone or only with jam, honey, or margarine, without the proper combination with proteins and good fats. The glycemic impact is even greater. Many people consume this bread thinking they are protecting their health, when in fact they are making it harder to control their glucose and don't understand why their tests remain altered. This is a classic example of how a food with a reputation for being healthy can become a problem for those with diabetes. And be aware, because the next food on the list also frequently appears on the table of those who believe they are eating well. Food number 2, brown rice. The second food on the list is brown rice, a true villain disguised at lunch. It seems balanced, is often indicated as a healthier option, and is present on the table of millions of people every day, especially those with diabetes or who want to control their weight. The problem is that, despite its reputation, it can raise glucose more than many people imagine. Many people believe that, because it is whole grain, rice does not interfere as much with blood sugar. But in practice, brown rice is still a food rich in carbohydrates and, in quantities common in the Brazilian diet, can cause glucose spikes, especially when consumed daily. This food often goes completely unnoticed because people think they're already doing everything right. They swap white rice for brown rice, keep the same amount on their plate, and don't understand why their blood sugar remains high. The mistake isn't just in the type of rice, but mainly in the portion size and frequency. Another important point is that brown rice, when not properly combined with adequate fiber, protein, and fat, ends up being quickly converted into sugar in the body. This makes it difficult for many people with diabetes to keep their glucose levels stable throughout the day. Therefore, even though it's considered a better choice than white rice, brown rice isn't automatically safe for people with diabetes. And this is a detail that many people only discover after seeing altered test results. Food number 3, cereal bars and fit snacks. The third food on the list is cereal bars and other snacks, called fit, widely used between meals by those who want to eat better, control their weight, or keep their glucose under control. They are sold as healthy, practical, and balanced options. But what many people don't realize is that these products can cause silent spikes in blood sugar in the rush of daily life. It's common for people to put one of these bars in their bag or car and consume it, thinking they are making a good choice. The problem is that many of these bars have disguised sugar, syrups, honey, maltodextrin, or large amounts of refined carbohydrates, even when the label promises health, because they are small and seem light. The person doesn't immediately feel the impact. Glucose rises gradually, without clear symptoms, and when they realize it, the tests show that something is wrong. This type of snack tends to deceive, precisely because it gives the feeling of control. while disrupting the balance of blood sugar. This is one of those foods that are part of the routine of many people with diabetes without the person suspecting it. Now, tell me in the comments, do you usually consume cereal bars or some kind of fit snack thinking it's a safe option? Food number 4, natural fruit juice. The fourth food on the list is natural fruit juice, which is widely considered a healthy option and even approved by many health professionals because it's made with fresh fruit. There's a common idea that it's a healthy choice, full of vitamins and without additives. But if you have diabetes, this approved can be a disguised trap. It turns out that, even though it's natural, fruit juice is basically a liquid form of the fruit's sugar, and this quickly raises blood glucose levels. Even a small glass can have a significant amount of concentrated sugar, and because it's absorbed very quickly by the body, it causes glycemic spikes. Many professionals downplay the impact of fruit juice, considering it healthier than sodas or processed juices. However, the effect on blood glucose is practically the same. The big problem is daily consumption, which can become a decisive factor in the difficulty of controlling glucose. It's not about banning it altogether, but understanding that small portions, consumed frequently, can have a cumulative impact on your health. So, the warning is, if you drink fruit juice every day, especially at breakfast or between meals, it's important to reassess this choice, as it may be harming your blood sugar control. If you hadn't thought about this before, now is the time to rethink the consumption of these juices in your routine. Food number 5, sweet fruits like mango, grapes, and pineapple. The fifth food on the list includes some fruits that seem harmless, such as mango, grapes, pineapple, and even watermelon. They are known for being natural and healthy, and are widely recommended for their nutritional benefits. The problem is that, for people with diabetes, these fruits can raise blood glucose levels more than many people imagine, and this happens very quickly. These fruits are rich in natural sugar, especially in the form of fructose and glucose, and are rapidly absorbed by the body. In other words, even though they are natural, they cause a significant increase in blood sugar, which can make it difficult to control glucose, especially when consumed alone or in large quantities. The big mistake many people make is consuming these fruits as a safe and healthy option without realizing the impact they have on the body. When consumed in excess, or without balancing them with other foods that help control glucose, they end up being a major villain for those with diabetes. The worst part is that many people consume these fruits thinking they are taking care of themselves, without realizing the impact on blood glucose, and only discover the problem when they see their tests worsen. This is a common mistake, especially among those who are starting to adjust their diet to control diabetes. But without the correct guidance on choosing fruits, if you have a habit of eating these fruits frequently, perhaps it's time to rethink the quantity and how you are consuming them. And remember, a healthy fruit doesn't automatically mean it's safe for your blood sugar. Food number 6, light and sugar-free products. The sixth food on the list is products sold as light or sugar-free, such as cakes, cookies, yogurts, and processed drinks. At first glance, they seem like the perfect choice for those who want to control their blood sugar. The problem is that many people don't realize what these products really hide. Even without added sugar, they often contain sweeteners, refined flours, and excess carbohydrates, which can have the same effect as regular sugar in raising glucose levels. In other words, you consume them thinking you're taking care of yourself, but your body still receives a significant sugar load. These products confuse people with diabetes because they give a sense of security and control, while in practice they may be sabotaging blood glucose levels. They are small hidden villains, easy to consume and present in the routines of many people who hasn't fallen for this thinking they were making the right choice. That's exactly why it's so important to look beyond the label and understand how each food affects your blood sugar. If you consume any of these products daily, maybe Jimmy too, rethink your choices and look for alternatives that truly help control blood glucose. If you've made it this far, I want to congratulate you, because that already shows that you are different from most people. Believe it, 97% of people can't watch a video until the end. And the simple fact that you're paying attention this far shows that you really care about your health and want to make conscious choices. And since we're talking about choices and taking care of yourself, I want to invite you to actively participate in this content. If this topic makes sense to you, leave a comment below about what touched you or surprised you the most so far. Share your experience, your opinion, or even that thought that came to mind while you were watching. Also, if you haven't liked the video yet, click the like button. This helps the channel grow and allows more people who are going through the same challenges with diabetes to have access to this information, and subscribe to the channel to continue following this type of content, because it is precisely this participation that allows us to create more videos that truly impact the lives of those who want to take care of their health in a practical and realistic way. Your participation here isn't just a number or a statistic, it's what allows the message to reach further and touch more people who need to understand these pitfalls of daily eating. And now that you're aware of this, it's time to reveal the last food on the list, which is undoubtedly one of the most surprising and present in the routine of many people, even without realizing the risk it represents. Food number 7, soft drinks and sweetened beverages. The last food on the list, and probably the most treacherous of all, is soft drinks and other sweetened beverages. Although many people know that regular soft drinks are unhealthy, they remain extremely present in the daily lives of millions of people. The problem is that, even when we opt for diet or zero versions, these drinks can still silently impair glucose control. Whether at lunch, as a snack, or along with meals, and often automatically, without thinking about the impact they have. Each sip delivers a large amount of sugar or sweeteners that can interfere with how the body regulates glucose, making any improvement in diabetes control much more difficult. What makes this food so treacherous is that it doesn't give that immediate feeling of danger. Unlike a heavy meal or an obvious sweet treat, you don't feel the effects right away, but tests show the impact. And precisely because it is so common, it is easy to underestimate its effect, keeping glucose levels high without realizing it. This is the moment to really open your eyes to habits that seem harmless, but that, in everyday life, may be preventing real results in diabetes control. Now that you know all 7 foods on the list, you have the opportunity to rethink each choice and make decisions that make a difference in your health. Now that you know all the foods that may be sabotaging glucose control, the big question is what to do instead. The good news is that there are simple, practical solutions that you can start applying today. One strategy is to replace problematic foods with options that have a lower glycemic impact. For example, swapping processed whole wheat breads for versions made with oat or almond flour, or choosing fruits with lower sugar content, such as strawberries, kiwi, and avocado, instead of excessive amounts of mangoes or grapes. Another important approach is to think about combinations that help reduce glucose spikes. Consuming carbohydrates along with proteins, fiber, and healthy fats slows down sugar absorption, keeping energy stable and avoiding those rapid spikes that impair diabetes control. For example, eating a slice of whole wheat bread with an egg or a fruit accompanied by nuts. But nothing replaces observing your own body and test results. Each person reacts differently to food, and the best way to understand what works for you is to pay attention to your energy levels and how your body responds throughout the day. Small adjustments and constant monitoring make all the difference. By following these strategies, you not only reduce the negative impact of these foods, but you also regain a sense of control and hope about your health. With conscious choices and simple practices, it's possible to keep your blood sugar balanced without giving up the pleasure of eating. Now that you know the 7 foods that many people consume believing they are healthy, I want to know from you, which of these foods do you consume in your daily life, thinking you are making the right choice? Leave a comment below telling us which one surprised you the most, or even which one you never imagined could be harming your glucose control. Your participation is very important because it helps other people who are going through the same challenge to reflect on their own diet. If this content made sense to you, like the video, because that helps the channel grow and reach more people who need this information. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue following practical and real tips on how to take care of your health and control diabetes without falling into the traps that many people don't even realize. Remember, each comment, each like, and each subscription is not just a number. It's a way to contribute so that more people learn to make conscious choices and take care of their own health every day.